Hey, it is Nick from Pictor. I just wanted to show you today how simple it is to use our custom prompt editor. So I'm going to shrink myself down because you'd rather see the prompts than me, and then let's dive right in. So as we get started here, I want to say this is a pro plan feature. If for some reason you don't see it in your pro plan, it was a beta feature, so it may not be flagged on for some of y'all. Just hit this chat down here, request it, and we'll get it set up for you. So finding your custom prompts is over in your drop-down menu over here. We're going to hit custom prompt editor, and I'm going to go ahead and create a new prompt. So as we hop in here, I want to be very clear. We created this in a very simple way because people were talking about how hard it is to create a custom prompt. So let's go ahead and we'll create another sports ball player. People have been asking for a lot of these. So let's do a football player. Let's do, American football because I'm an American. And let's grab a test image. So I'm going to use someone that is someone we all recognize. So that way we can test the likeness. So as we build these, something to keep in mind, we're always going to want to make the prompt that is the most reliable output that looks the most like the person. So to do this, we have to start somewhere. So let's start with creating our first prompt. And let's do, like I said, that football player. So we want them to look stoic. The subject is NFL football player. The action, let's say posing for a publicity portrait setting on the football field of a football stadium. Lighting, we're going to do like, let's do magic hour. It's a nice little trick. Cinematic. And we want bright stadium lighting on the player. Style, why don't we do like a hyper real portrait with strobe lighting. Let's do well lit face and posing as if they are on a collectible football card. So this is where we're going to start. So let's go ahead and dive into this. Let's see what happens. So the request is going to go up to the cloud. It does take 30 to 90 seconds. So instead of looking at my face the entire time, I'm going to skip ahead and join you again in a moment. So here we are. We have our likeness for sure. We have our football player for sure. Definitely in the football uniform. We see the lights in the background. I wish it was a little bit darker, but we can modify for that as well. That purple uniform is not what I was expecting. So let's say NFL football player in a silver uniform. Let's see what happens there. And let's send it through. So as this goes up, I just want to remind you that you're going to have to keep iterating on this. And once you get the look you like, you're not quite done. At that point, you're going to save your prompt, and then you need to test on people of all different shapes and sizes to make sure you get the repeatable output and the likeness. And then you have to modify to keep getting them just right. So I'm going to let this finish off, and we'll be back in 1 sec. There we go. Well, that's definitely not what I expected to happen with silver, but this is proof that it does take a lot of time to go through. So let's go ahead and change this to football player and wearing a silver jersey, and let's see what happens next. So once again, you just have to keep iterating it. So it's fun. You get really instant results, and it gets to be a little bit addictive playing with all these different levers. We'll see you again in 1 moment. There we go. Now we're starting to get that silver uniform that I'm talking about. So one of the other things I want to point out is we've made this really simple And what we do is we ask you questions. There's little tooltips on each of these to give you an idea of what these options are. And with these options, with these answers, we take them, we refine them, and then create the prompt for you on the back end. So we're going to string it all together into a beautiful prompt, send it through, and then you get your output. So here we are with our silver player. I'm pretty happy with that. So you'll note that originally it took this thumbnail. So I'm going to go ahead and select this thumbnail here. I'm going to save this, and I'm going to select this prompt, and then I'm going to save this. And now if I go back to Pictor events, and I create a new event, and let's call this footballer, and I go to create event now, I can come into my flow, my AI settings, choose a prompt, and you'll see my football player is right here. I can choose my ratio, my overlay, etc. And then we can execute the event. So we can also go ahead and just do one more custom prompt that I'll show you. We'll do something silly. Let's do like Dragon Slayer. Let's grab another sample image and let's do something fun. We'll make a Dragon Slayer. So here we are. We're going to select the gender, and this is going to be a very brave. Actually, I want to do a dragon tamer because that's brave. Dragon tamer posing with their very gentle dragon with big metallic teeth. You never know what's going to happen. On the precipice of a foggy mountain top. The lighting, let's do like neon, surreal, pink and purple lighting. And we're going to do in the style of fantasy. Anything specific? The dragon tamer embraces their lovely dragon. Let's see what happens. So we'll be back as soon as this render finishes, and then we'll wrap this up. There you go. I think that's a pretty great dragon tamer, if I do say so myself. We got the purple, we got the mountaintop, we got the likeness. What I do want to say, though, is before we can consider this a finished prompt, you got to test it with people of different shapes and sizes, different lighting, etc., and make sure you get that repeatable output that you can depend on. So we can't wait to see what you create. If you need any help, there's a little chat window down here. If you have any feedback or requests for different features, hit us up here, and we're around. Can't wait to see. Like, I always say this so many times, but it's so true. I cannot wait to see what people create with the software. We have so much fun with it, and it's been so cool to see people sharing the content that they create. So please create awesome stuff. Share it in the Facebook group. Genuinely can't wait to see it. Cool. Thank you so much.